Hello and welcome to the Land Your First Client Guaranteed training. I'm so excited that you're here. I know that one of the biggest struggles for virtual assistants is landing that very first client or maybe landing that next client. We don't know how to market our business, and that's why I've created this free training just for you. If you don't know me yet, I'm Abby. I'm the founder of The Virtual Savvy. I help women create and grow their own virtual assistant business from scratch. No matter where you're at, no matter if you've just heard about virtual assistant work or if you've been doing this for a few years, my whole goal is to help you grow. And that's why we're here today. So there's one thing that you need to operate a successful virtual assistant business. What do you think it is? If there's one thing in order to make your business an actual business, what is that one thing? Clients, that's right. You guys are so smart. I guess the title probably helped of the webinar. Paying customers. The one thing that differentiates this business, going from an expensive hobby to an actual business, is people paying you to do the work that you're doing. And so that's what we're going to focus on here today. I'm going to be showing you how you can land clients for your virtual assistant business. And what's so awesome about this training is that you don't even need a website to complete most of the or all of the 3 tactics that I'm going to be showing you here today. And I do have some really, really awesome bonuses that I haven't included anywhere else, some special bonuses if you stick around that we're going to present to you at the very end. So just a little bit about me. My name's Abby Ashley, as I said before. I am the founder of The Virtual Savvy. I started my virtual assistant business in 2013 after I had just had my first daughter. And I knew that I didn't want to work anymore at that job I had been working at for 5 years that I hated. You guys maybe have been there before when you wake up and you just have that feeling in the pit of your stomach that you don't want to go into work because you hate your job. And that's where I was. And I knew that when I had my first daughter, I was like, I want to do something from home. These are my whys. These are my 2 kiddos. This is Evie and Jones. They're my cute little kids. They are 1 and 3, and they weigh the same. They are awesome kids. And this is why I decided. And whatever it may be for you, maybe it's to leave that 9 to 5, maybe it's to help support your family, whatever your why is, that's really going to motivate you to keep going in this business when it gets difficult. I started my virtual assistant business, like I said, in 2013, and I literally had no idea what I was doing, guys. I mean, seriously, and some of you guys might be in the same boat as me. You maybe are like, I literally just heard of a virtual assistant like a month ago. Like, what is that again? And that's where I was. I literally, oh, you guys might hear screaming children in the background, by the way. That's part of mom life, right? I started my virtual assistant business and I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't even know what a VA was. And so I researched every single article. I bought every workshop I did. I bought the ebooks. I read the articles. I pieced together all this information. And honestly, there really wasn't that great information out there, but I took everything, hours of research, tons of money, and I put together a plan of how I was going to build my virtual assistant business. And the one thing that most of these programs were lacking were the marketing aspect. Now, I did have a marketing background. I got my degree in marketing, and I had done some public relations work. And so I had a little bit of that background, and I was like, let's infuse these 2 things and see what happens. Well, it was pretty cool what happened, actually. Within 2 months, I was fully booked in my services. I literally went from not even knowing what a virtual assistant was to completely selling out my services. And within 4 months, I had 4 subcontractors working underneath me. I was actually making more money in my business working part-time hours, because at this point, I was still like taking care of my kids and only working like 20 hours a week, but I was making the money of working 40, 60, 80 hours a week because I had these people working underneath me. And it was just this crazy, awesome whirlwind. And that happened because I had infused that marketing into my virtual assistant business. Now, we're going to jump into the practice in just a second, but just a little bit of like a baseline, just so we all have this understanding of clients and how marketing works and how it fits into your virtual assistant business. Your first client is not going to come to you. And I know that stinks because most of us don't like the marketing part of a virtual assistant business, but it's the truth. At the very beginning, it takes some hustle, guys. And so these 3 tactics that I'm going to show to you today, I'm not going to say that they're easy. Like, you're going to have to get out there and do them. But if you do, you get out there and you do them, they work. You're going to have to get out there. You're going to have to get out and get those first clients because they're not going to come to you. So the main question is then, okay, Ivy, that's awesome. I'm willing to put in the hard work. Like, you don't get it. I am a hard worker, but I just don't know where to get clients. Well, that's what I'm going to show you today. I'm going to show you my exact steps that I use to gain my first clients, and it's a process that can be repeated time and time again. So what's so cool about this is that these methods, when you get your first client with them or you get your next client with them, you can see, oh, this worked. I can do this again and again and again and again. And you can actually meld this into your overall marketing plan for your business. So we are going to jump right in. Here we go. Lead generation hack number 1. This is called the personal outreach template. And some of you guys may have heard this one before, but I'm going to go into a little bit of depth of what this actually is. When most of us start our business, we think, man, where am I going to find clients? And who's even going to know that I am a reputable person to handle some of their business matters? Well, the very best place to look for your very first client is with the people that you already know. It's like one of those things that's so simple, but most of us don't even think about is there's 2 people. Let me go ahead and ask you this first. Do you know somebody who owns a business? Do you know a small business owner? Just one person, even if they're not like a very, very close friend. Do you know one person that's a small business owner? Somebody comes to your mind right now. Oh, yeah, that person's a small business owner. Most of us know a small business owner, okay? So there is your very first person to contact, okay? Now, some of you might be thinking, well, yes, but I don't think that they're going to need my services no matter what. And maybe they do, and maybe they don't. This is going to be the first person you contact, but that's just half of the story. The other half are the people who don't own a small business, but they're your friends, they're your neighbors, they're people that you know, even your family members, extended family members. And these are people that are going to be your evangelists. They're the people who know you, who trust you, who love you. And just like you know a small business owner, they know a small business owner. So even if somebody doesn't own a small business and can't use your services exactly, they may know of somebody who does. So this is where this comes into play. And even if you have a really specific niche, it's still the same thing. Maybe you are a VA for photographers. Well, I know a photographer, and I'm sure that my sister knows a photographer, and there's people who know people. And so that extended network, these are the people, the very first people that you're going to reach out to. And so how do you do this? Well, the practicalities of this. I'm going to show you a template in just a second that you can do, but I don't want this to the template is just a guideline. This is a conversation. And so where you're going to find these people, and you may, make a list of 30 people. Okay, these are the people I'm going to reach out to. Where do you find those people? You find them in your friends list in Facebook. Who are the people that you're already talking to, you're interacting to, the people that you see every day? Go to the people that you've emailed, go to your sent email and look at the people that you've emailed emailed in the last 90 days, okay? These are people that you're already talking to. And these are the people that you can reach out to first, whether they're small business owners or not. People that you know on other social media channels. There's people that I haven't met yet, but I know them because of social media, especially now I've gotten into like this online marketing world. There's people that I consider my friends, even though we haven't met, and they'd be the perfect people to reach out to if I had something new that I was offering. Go through your contacts list on your phone. Go and think about the people that are maybe at your church or a part of your kids' soccer team, their parents, you know, like the people that you're already in contact with who would be excited about, hey, I'm starting a new business venture and I just want to tell somebody about it. I'm excited about it. So here's a little bit of a mock template that you can use when you're reaching out to people. Again, make this organic, make this something that is conversational, but here's a little bit of what that might look like. Hey, I hope you're doing great today. You know, it was awesome to see you at the company barbecue last week. I just started a virtual assistant business, and maybe you should go in and tell them a little bit of what that even is. A lot of people don't even know what a virtual assistant business is, and I'm so excited about it. I have all this experience, maybe list out, you know, I've been doing administration work for 10 years, and I just found out that people can do this from home on their own time, and I've decided that this is something that I want to do. As a virtual assistant, I'll be helping my clients with, you know, and list out some of the things that you're going to be doing. And in the VA Bootcamp, that's one of the things that we talk about is narrowing down on your services. But go ahead and list out, you know, these are some of the things that I'm going to be doing. I'm currently taking on this many clients, and you can talk about that. You can talk about your pricing and all of that, but maybe don't even do that in the very first conversation that you have with these people. Just let them know, hey, this is something I'm doing and I just wanted to share it with you because I'm excited about it. Now, if the person that you're talking to is your ideal client, then you know, it's totally okay to just say, hey, is this something that you'd even be interested in? Is this something that may benefit your business? The thing is, most of us think that we're burdening people with this kind of thing, but you are actually there to help them. This is a win-win situation. If you're able to help them, they're not having to hire a full-time or even a part-time employee and pay for health benefits and Social Security and all of those things. This is actually something that's going to help them, and it's going to help you, and it's a win-win situation. So ask them, is this something that you would maybe even be interested in? And if they're not a small business owner, then you can just simply say, I thought you might know of some people that could benefit. Do you know any small business owners, or do you know anyone that maybe could use a service like this? And that's it. It's very conversational. It's, you know, very down to earth. Some of us think, oh, that's probably not going to work for me. But honestly, this method really does work. And so this is lead generation tactic number one. And this is the first thing that you can do without even having a website, without having anything, honestly. You don't even have to have all of your packages and pricing and contracts and everything. This is just that first initial like, hey, I'm going to tell the world what I'm doing so people at least know who I am. Let's go on to lead generation hack number two. Here we go. So this is the visibility challenge. And this is the one that people get nervous. Honestly, most people get nervous about all of these tactics. And whether you're an introvert or an extrovert, putting yourself out there is scary. Something that's nice about all three of these tactics is that most of them can be done virtually. Some of the best marketers I've seen are actually introverts. They just know how to really like get themselves out there online, and it almost provides like this safety. So it's kind of cool to be able to see people who maybe wouldn't normally feel comfortable just really putting themselves out there excel with these methods. So the visibility challenge, let's go into what that actually is. So what you're going to do, now this method is primarily used with Facebook. And so that's what we're going to talk about. That's the specific method I'm going to talk to you about in this lead generation hack, okay? And so what you're going to do is you're going to search for 30 groups. These are entrepreneurial groups that you're going to join, okay? And out of those 30, 5 of those are going to be your core groups. And I'm going to talk about what that means in just a second. But those 30 groups that you join, how you find those. Whenever you go and you search in Facebook, you're going to be able to see that if you type in the words entrepreneurship, entrepreneur, boss, business, anything that has to do with like those businessy words, you're going to start seeing different Facebook groups. Here is what you do. You go in and you find these groups, and I want you to join 30 of them. You can maybe put all the links in a Google Doc. You can save them to your favorites in Facebook, but find 30 groups to join. And out of those 30 groups, 5 of them are going to be your core group. So let me make a note and just say that I recommend when you're finding these groups, find some that have at least 1,000 people in them. The higher the numbers, generally, not always, but generally, you're going to see more interaction inside of those groups, and you're going to see more people posting. So just know that the bigger the group, usually there are more opportunities you're going to see inside of them. So what are you going to do once you have those 30 Facebook groups? Well, 5 of those are going to be your core groups. And inside of those core groups, here's what you're going to do. You're going to show up. And sometimes people say that and you're like, okay, what does that actually mean? Like, practically, how do I do that? Well, it's not as hard as we think it has to be. Like, I think some people are like, oh, I have to, if I'm going to post something in a Facebook group, an entrepreneurial Facebook group, it's got to be amazing. It's got to be like this 500-word blog post that I wrote, or it's got to be this tip that nobody's ever heard of, or this, tutorial video that I spent 5 hours on. And all those things can be good. But honestly, like, if my whole goal for these groups is for you just to be known inside of them, and for you just to be real, and for people to start recognizing like, oh, I'm seeing this girl in this group like all the time. Who is this girl? Like, I need to pay attention to her. So what does that look like? You're going to post about your life. You're going to post about starting your VA business. Hey, I started a VA business today. I'm so excited. Boom. That's all you can say. It doesn't have to be extravagant. Oh, I just had my first meeting with a client. Send prayers and well wishes my way that I land this first client, things like that. Ask questions. Every time you get stuck, ask the question into the group. Even if it could be an easy Google search for you to figure out the answer, go ahead and post it in some groups so you're getting some interaction, so people are seeing you. Share your successes, share your struggles. I landed my first client. I'm so excited. Somebody crack open a bottle of champagne with me, something like that. These are the kind of things that you're just, the same thing that you would text to a friend, like the same message that you would send to your husband, although, make it G-rated, but go ahead and post that in the group. And that's what you're gonna talk about. You're gonna share yourself. You're gonna share your life. And the thing is that once you start doing that, like, people are gonna notice you. And I'm telling you, this works. This method alone, it sounds crazy, but when people start noticing you and seeing like, oh, this girl, like, who is she? Oh, she's a VA. Listen, if people don't know who you are, they can't hire you. That's just plain and simple. In order for people to hire you, they're gonna have to see what you have to offer. Lead generation tactic number 3. Facebook is just the bare bones, like, to go out there and get your first client. This is like one of the best ways to do it, are Facebook group searches. So let me just show you what that looks like. Remember those 30 groups that you joined? Well, here's what you're going to do inside of those groups every single day. You're going to go into each of your Facebook groups. Yes, all 30 of them that you've chosen. That's why I say to do a Google Doc, or to, have them in your favorites, so it's easy for you to click through and go to each of them. And what you're going to do is you're going to go up to the search bar in the upper right-hand side of that group. You're going to see search this group. And what you're going to do is you're going to search for the terms virtual assistant. You're going to search for the terms VA. You're going to search for the terms online business manager, or OBM, social media manager. You can search for the term social media. You can search for the term help or hiring. And what you're going to find is that when you search inside of these groups, that the posts are going to come up of people who have used those words. So for instance, searching for the word hire or hiring, it's going to pop up where someone says, I'm looking to hire somebody to help me manage my Pinterest profile, or my company is hiring somebody to help with blog content, or whatever it may be. I'm looking for a virtual assistant. Those keywords are going to show up in the searches. Now, this is the point where a lot of people ask me, well, yeah, Abby, I've done that, but every time I do that, here's what happens. I look, and the person who posted it 5 days ago, or the person who posted it there's already 14 comments on it, so I don't even say anything. Well, the next topic that I'm going to talk to you about is about giving value. And the thing is that most people don't hire their virtual assistant within the first 24 hours. So even if this person posted a job 3 days ago, 5 days ago, a week ago, I mean, 2 weeks maybe max, but hey, you never know. I mean, people sometimes will post inside of groups and then they'll get all these responses and they're like, oh, I'm not really ready. And so they end up not hiring somebody. And so it's always worth it to go ahead and reach out to these people, unless if they say specifically, oh, I've hired somebody, please, no more responses. It's worth it to go ahead and to reach out to them. And the thing is that even if 30 people, I mean, I personally have hired virtual assistants before. I've hired people to help me with my business. And let me tell you, I sometimes get 30 responses. And you don't have to be the first person in the gate. Usually the first person that emails me, honestly, is the worst email. It's because they just sent me an email and they're like, hey, I'm a virtual assistant. Here's my website. And that's all they do. And you know what I do? Delete, because that's not giving me value. Okay. What you do after you find these groups or you find these posts, you're going to comment on the post, and then you're going to send out a super personalized private message, or if they leave their email there, email to the person. You're going to spend some actual time. Again, don't worry about like rushing this. Don't think that you have to send them something an hour after they post. You don't have to be the first in the gate. You just have to be the best in the gate. Okay. So you're going to do a little bit of time, research them, look at their social media profiles, look at their website, see what they're offering right now. Maybe subscribe to their email list and see what kind of email they send you when you first sign up. And out of that, you're going to be able to actually send them a personalized proposal, something saying like, hey, I checked out your website and wow, I am amazed by what you're doing. I really loved how you blank, blank, blank. It's super specific. I love how you said this in this blog post, or I love how you created this inside of your website, or I love how in your Facebook community, you're always doing this. Be personal. Let them know that you notice the hard work that they're doing. People love compliments too. So go ahead and dish out those compliments. Make them true. I mean, if you go to this person's website and you're like, oh, this is not the kind of person that I want to work for at all, then, well, now you've done your actual research. So you know if they're even a good client for you or not. Or you at least know the beginning steps of whether they're a good client for you or not. So you're going to send out a personalized email and you're going to show them specifically examples of your work and what you can do for them. Okay. And the main thing here, definitely introduce yourself, tell them what you specialize in, how you can help them. Any examples? Examples are always amazing. So, but even if you haven't worked with a client, that doesn't mean you can't still have examples. And I'll talk to you about that in just a second. And go ahead and assume that you guys are going to talk. So leave, say, here's my Skype name, or are you available maybe tomorrow to talk? Go ahead and assume like, okay, we're going to be taking the next steps here. Give value first. And something that you can do, and I'm telling you, people don't do this. Like I said, I put out a post for a virtual assistant and I got 30 responses, and I think only 2 or 3 people did this out of those 30 that emailed me. Is that they took the time to actually give me value first. So for instance, I was looking for somebody to help me create some Pinterest images. I had all of these free offers and I hadn't made any Pinterest images to go with them. So I had almost, I forget, I think it was like 30, 40 Pinterest images that I needed to be made. Well, most people just sent me an email. Some people just said, oh, here, check out my website. Well, okay, delete. Some people said, Abby, I would love to do this. I've made Pinterest images for people before. Okay, delete, because the people that I actually wanted to inquire further about their services were the people that said, hey, Abby, I see that you want somebody to handle your Pinterest. I don't have a website yet. The person that I actually hired didn't even have her website together yet. She said, but I went ahead and I created 3 Pinterest images for your last blog post. Here you go. They're yours, whether you hire me or not. And it gave me so much value. It showed me that she cared about my business and her work was really good. And so that's who I hired. So, so this whole mentality of value first, I'm telling you, this is one of the key ways that you can actually get to the client. Your job is to keep going, okay? Keep going, keep pushing forward, even when this gets difficult, because these tactics work only if you keep going at them. These tactics alone, even if you do nothing else for your marketing, if you just keep doing these on repeat, you're gonna get your first client. You will. You will keep getting out there and you keep giving value first and you're showing people what you can do. You can land your client with just these methods, which is honestly really incredible. And it's one of the things that I know that a lot of us struggle with a lot. Building a business is hard, and that's part of the reason why I'm so passionate about what I'm doing, because I think that people get into whatever kind of business it is, any type of business that you're starting. I mean, entrepreneurship is difficult, and so we come in just thinking like, oh, this is going to be just really just it's going to be so nice to work for myself and, to be able to work in my yoga pants and my LuLaRoes or whatever. Like, it's going to be, I want to work in my stretchy pants, we just think that it's going to be really easy and awesome, and it's not. It's hard work. And so that's why I'm passionate about accountability, and I'm passionate about giving you guys the tools to make it easier. One of the mistakes that people make is trying to go at this alone. And you can watch webinars and you can read books and you can read articles. I mean, that's the way I did it. And it was grueling and I made a lot of mistakes along the way, which is why I created Package to Perfection. And, if you guys are in this and you're like, man, this is totally what I want to do. Like, I am sold on this. This is something that I really want to do. Then this is the natural next fit. Honestly, I created this course because I saw a need. I saw that people were, they were frustrated. They didn't know where to start. They wanted to make money online. I do have a program called the VA Bootcamp where I teach people like start to finish. Here's how you create your virtual assistant business. But it is a pricier program. And so people needed an inexpensive option to get started. And that's why I created this program, okay? Package to Perfection, package and price your virtual assistant services to sell. Still seems really confusing. I don't know what services to offer. I don't know how much to price. Package to Perfection is totally for you, all right? This is where I guide you step by step through this process. It's the next logical step for you if you really are ready to start your virtual assistant business, okay? I created this just for you guys. I'll give you a brief overview of the lessons if you are interested in it. No pressure. What is a VA and why should I be one? We talk about what not to do when you're first starting out, so a couple of those mistakes, but we have a couple more that I go through and I tell you what absolutely not to do when you're first starting out. 101 services you can offer as a virtual assistant. So I actually go through the process of listing out 101 different services. You choose the ones that are best for you. We go through an evaluation process and you'll choose which services you're going to offer as a virtual assistant. You're going to decide who you are and who you're served. So actually discovering a niche, like who am I going to market my services toward? We're going to factor for taxes. And that's one of the things that we get into. Some people are confused about that process. And so we go ahead and we go over that inside of this course. We determine your rate. And even if you're doing packages, you can still determine your hourly rate, right? So if you have a package, it's like, how does that translate into an hourly rate? We go over that in this course, how to determine the rate of your packages. And then we package it up. I help you decide on normally 3 different packages that you can offer and that you can present. And then portfolio creation and marketing 101. I teach you how to actually create a portfolio. I use a program called Canva that's super, super easy to use. And it shows you exactly how you can create a portfolio. Even if you've never worked for a client before, I show you how to put in examples of the type of work you can do, how to create testimonials of people who have worked with you before and say, oh my goodness, you should work with this person. And how to put it together in a portfolio so you can get out there and market. We do Marketing 101, how to land your first client. You get lifetime access to all 17 lessons. So here's Package to Perfection. You can see this is kind of how the course is laid out. There's videos, there's tutorials. It's step by step. It's self-paced. There's assignments on every lesson to keep you on task. So I don't say, here's all the stuff you should do, go out and do it. I actually say, okay, at the end of this assignment, go out and do this. Do not move on to the next assignment until you've done it, right? There's assignments on every lesson to keep you on task. There's workbooks, there's video tutorials, there's everything that you need to guide you through the process of packaging your services, pricing them, going out and getting your first client. And because I love you guys so much, and because I had a lot of stuff that I really wanted you to share with you and to get you super equipped, I have a couple bonuses as well. I know you all love bonuses. The Advanced Canva Workshop. If you have not heard of Canva yet, Canva is amazing. People are like, I want to learn how to do social media management, but I can't create anything. I'm not a graphic designer. Well, I show you how to create graphics in the Advanced Canva Workshop. It's about a 90-minute workshop, and it teaches you so much on how to create beautiful graphics for your business. There's the Nail the Sale training. So when you actually do get someone to say, hey, I want to interview you for this job, this goes through actually how you land that interview. We give you a guidebook, questions that you should ask during your interview. That's all included in the Nail the Sale training. There's a Land Your First Virtual Assistant Client workbook.
It shows you how to market yourself, how to get out there and land that very first client.
There is the Profitable VA Masterclass. This is something that I actually just did with my VA boot campers, and they absolutely loved it. They raved about this masterclass because it was an 80-minute class where we broke down exactly how each one of them, we said, how much money do you want to make in your business? And I broke off an exact plan on how they could get there using the hours. Some people said, I want to make this much and I can only commit 20 hours to my business. And I said, okay, let's come up with a plan to get you there. And that's what I did inside of this Profitable VA Masterclass. There's the 14-day visibility challenge. And so this is a way to get yourself out there. Like I said, even if you don't live in the US, if you're in a different country and you're like, oh, the exchange rate, not so much here. I don't know how to get my services out online. Then there's this 14-day visibility challenge. And it teaches you, it gives you step-by-step. Do this on day 1, do this on day 2, do this on day 3. This is how you get yourself out there and start getting clients online. And of course, you get lifetime access to the course. So you'll get access to this course. You have lifetime access. Any updates that we do, anything that we add to the course, you'll get access to it whenever you enroll.
So when you add it all up, this is $372 in bonuses. So not just the course, in additional bonuses and resources and tools that you can use to grow your virtual assistant business. If you're wondering how you can get the Package to Perfection course with all of the bonuses included, all you need to do is push the button below this video.
Here's a few questions that people commonly ask me about the course. How long will I have access to the course is a question that I get a lot. Forever is the answer, okay? Like I said, you have lifetime access. And so that doesn't mean that you have to complete it all. If you're like, man, I really tried to do this, but like 3 months went by and now I really need to jump in, you can totally do that. That's fine. Is it self-paced? Yes, absolutely. While this course can be completed in less than 30 days, it's totally self-paced. So if life gets in the way, it's totally fine. You can go at it at your own pace, and you also can skip around in the lessons. I recommend you go from start to finish, but if you're like, oh, I really want to jump down and see this lesson, you can totally do that. If I purchase Package to Perfection, can some of the cost be applied toward the VA Bootcamp? So like I said, 3 times a year, I launch the VA Bootcamp, and it is about $1,000 or more for the VA Bootcamp, and it's an intense training program. I teach you, we have monthly meetups, there's accountability built into it, all of that. And I launch that 3 times a year. That's not going to launch again until March. And so, but people have been asking me, if I purchase this course, can some of the costs be applied toward the VA Bootcamp? And the answer is yes. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be sending every person who purchased Package to Perfection, I'm going to be sending them a coupon code so they can get a discount whenever it comes to the time of the VA Bootcamp. So like I said, you get all of this. You get the course, you get the Nail Sale training, the Canva workshop, the visibility challenge. If you need a blueprint of like, I want to start my virtual assistant business, but I don't know where to start, this is what you can do. And it's for only $297. All right. We do have a payment option as well. and that is for $99 for 3 months. And so I wanted to go ahead and present this to you. If you are ready to jump into a virtual assistant business, this is the next step for you. Okay, guys, I created this for you. For those who are like, man, I want to get started. I'm ready. Let's do this. We've got it right here for you. Okay.
Thank you guys so much for joining me for this free training. I hope that you loved it and that you learned something today. If you really loved the information in this training, just know that Packaged to Perfection is this and more. All the tools, all the steps that you need in order to start your virtual assistant business from scratch and start getting clients. Just click the button below to enroll with all of the bonuses.